You're listening to the True North Success Podcast. Real stories of personal, professional, and financial wins from Alberta's best. With your hosts, Gary Ma and Amy Kim.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today my special guest is Dr. Manpreet Kaur. She is a registered provisional psychologist and a seasoned clinician with 15 years of experience in mental health. She holds a doctorate in clinical psychology from the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences in India. A former psychoanalytic fellow at the Washington Baltimore Center of Psychoanalysis, her expertise spans psychodynamic psychotherapy, grief counseling, and psychosocial research. Dr. Kaur currently serves as a mental health therapist at the Prairie Neurohealth Clinic in Calgary while maintaining an international online private practice. Her diverse background includes case management and outreach, with a focus on fostering emotional self-regulation and providing compassionate, research-driven care to individuals and groups. It is my pleasure to have Dr. Manpreet Kaur on the show today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Gary.
So, Dr. Kaur, I gave a quick overview of your success, but can you fill in the details of what you do, who you serve, and how long you've been doing this for?
Right. So, after high school, I completed my graduation and post-graduation in clinical psychology. Further, I pursued my MPhil and doctorate and completed my doctorate from an Apex Institute in our country. It is an institute of national importance, the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, Bangalore, India. I have played several roles since then. I was a clinical psychologist, a researcher, and I've been in private practice since 2020 as an individual and group psychotherapist. So in 2022, we moved to Canada with my husband, and I was very fortunate to have landed my first job as a mental health therapist and continue to work there as a registered professional psychologist in a clinic that supports people with motor vehicle accidents. I'm immensely grateful to my supervisor who believed that I could suit this role.
Mm-hmm. So as as a psychologist, what was your driving force to become a psychologist, like way back in the early days?
My journey with psychology began very young. When I was in class 8th, my late father has been quite instrumental in me pursuing psychology. It was in class 8th that he asked me, what would it mean if you were to study human behavior? And I was that question that stayed with me for a very long period of time. And after high school, I pursued psychology. I enrolled in the course and I pursued it. And once I started studying it, I found it fascinating and I absolutely loved it. I think it is a huge privilege and responsibility to be a part of people's lives and their lived experiences through therapy.
So was your father a psychologist or in the healthcare field?
Fortunately or unfortunately, he had no link with the field of psychology, but he definitely had friends who were psychiatrists, and so he was quite influenced, and he always envisioned that if any of his children would try and study psychology. So
yeah, I mean that's an interesting question, coming from your father, seeing that, he's not a psychologist, but posing that question to you.
Yes.
Type of thing. Yeah.
He was way ahead of his times.
Right. Yeah. So that really influenced your beginning of becoming a psychologist, just learning about human behavior.
Absolutely. And I think it's a huge privilege. It's a huge privilege to be a part of, to be in this field.
Mm-hmm.
and be a part of people's lives. And it does come with a huge responsibility on your shoulders as well.
Right, right. Yeah. So tell me more about your journey from India to
Mhm.
Canada. Like, what was the driving force behind that transition?
So this transition had been happening since 2017.
Okay.
And the plans for this transition had been happening since 2017 when my husband wanted to move to Canada for better pursuits.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely, your partner's vision also becomes your vision,
Right.
right?
Yep.
And then it becomes like a, how do you say, like a mutual goal,
Sure.
right? And
Yep.
you work towards it. So, we started working towards it, and then by in 2019, I think we got our confirmation of permanent residency,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we made a soft landing in 2020.
Okay.
And then, but we had to go back to our home country because there were certain responsibilities that had to be, tied up.
Yeah.
And then we came back here after COVID in 2022.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So that must have been quite a transition from, working in India to, now establishing yourself in Canada
Yes.
as a psychologist. So
Yes.
tell me about
Absolutely.
that journey.
So, when I came here in 2022, I did not have a job, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I was still trying to figure out what am I supposed to do in order to get into the field
Yeah.
here, right?
Yeah.
Though I had done my homework back home,
Yeah.
right? What are the things that are required? But once I came in here, I got to know that I had to do a few additional courses to get my equivalency, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I completed one of those courses from Yorkville University, right? And then I was very fortunate, as I say, to land my first job as a mental health therapist. So my supervisory hours began after I got my license here, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was in February 2024. And since then, I've transitioned from a mental health therapist to a registered professional psychologist.
Right. Right.
Yes.
So you also right now have continued ties to India, working
Yes.
in the mental health field. So tell us
Absolutely.
about that.
Yes. So I work as an individual and group psychotherapist with adults,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my approach is largely relational and psychodynamic. I work non diagnostically, by which I mean that it is the patient's distress and what it means for them over their diagnosis, which is of
Mm-hmm.
paramount importance to me, right? Um, I do believe that the relationship itself can be an agency of change um, for clients to work through their own, uh, you know, defenses and conflicts,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the therapeutic relationship becomes like a space where it facilitates insight and perspective for the client. The social, political, and cultural context of the individual also matters to me a lot. It is very fundamental to my work, to the
Mm-hmm.
work that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I also borrow from a lot from third wave therapy, such as mindfulness based interventions and
Mm-hmm.
acceptance and commitment therapy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I work with a host of difficulties such as attachment histories, grief and loss, self and identity, life transitions, difficulties in the relational context, complex personal histories, personality difficulties, and so on. So, yeah, that's my that's my area of work.
Right, right. So you still have ties in India and you're working in Canada to become a registered psychologist.
Yes.
What kind of sets you apart from the competition? Like what comes easy to you that others might find challenging?
Right. I believe professionals in our field are dedicated to improving their skills, right? So as individuals and professionals, we all are work in progress.
Right.
So I wouldn't necessarily say something comes easy to me and that is difficult for others.
Yeah.
However, over the years, through personal work and persistent learning, I believe my ability to contain has grown significantly.
Right. Right. And what kind of suggestion or tips or suggestions would you give someone who wants to be more successful?
The first would be definitely continuing professional development. Right? No matter how experienced we are, no matter at what stage of our careers we are in, right? There is always room to learn,
Right.
unlearn, and
And
stay
grow.
curious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely, personal characteristics such as dedication, determination, and discipline play a very important role too. And over time, I've realized it's the consistency and commitment that allows us to maintain the progress that we have achieved over the years.
Right. Right. So just being open to learning
Yes,
and continuing to grow will help
absolutely.
someone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. What's one of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome in your career, and how were you able to turn that into a positive?
Sure, sure. I think one of the biggest challenges that I had to overcome was my own resistance to change.
Mm. Okay.
Uh, Immigration was a major milestone in our lives, right?
Okay. Yep.
And while it came with a lot of opportunities, it did come with its own set of challenges, isn't it?
Yeah.
So over time, I began to see this change as an opportunity for growth,
Yep.
right? And this experience led me to start a therapy group on ambiguous loss, um, which we explore complex feelings around loss, transitions, and any kind of loss through people's lives, right? And immigration can bring with it a huge sense of loss as well, right? So through this work, it helped me make sense of my own experience while I support people in theirs.
Mm. Hmm. So out of that challenge, like like when you moved type of thing, you were far away from family, so you didn't have that connection, and you were having to deal with that, and you were now able to help other people as
Yes.
well.
Yes, certainly. Certainly.
Yeah.
Through their lived experiences of transitions and loss and grief.
Right.
And
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Well, that's very cool.
yeah.
It sounds like things are going really well for you and your business. As a busy healthcare professional, a lot of time is spent running the active business. When looking towards the future, many don't want to have to be working so hard for that income. So some of them look at different ways of creating income outside of actively working. Things like maybe investing in stocks, bonds, or crypto, or using a financial planner or something like that. What are your thoughts about ways of creating income outside of your work?
Right. Um, Outside of actually, if you allow me, I would also like to talk about how can income be generated within our field as well,
Sure.
in case you
Okay.
don't want to uh, do clinical work
Yep.
like throughout, right?
Yep.
So I would definitely say intentionally creating streams that use your skills and knowledge, right?
Hmm.
So it can involve anything within our field. It can involve teaching. It can involve conducting workshops, organizing seminars, developing content for
Hmm.
social media platforms and academic platforms, right?
Hmm.
And definitely outside our field, I would say any of your hobbies that you might have picked up along the way, right? It can be
Yeah.
art, it can be craft, it can be illustration, it can be baking.
Yeah.
All of these can evolve into income generating sources, right?
Right.
Activities.
Yeah.
The key is recognizing the value in what you already have
Mhm.
and using that to creating opportunities.
Right, right. Excellent. As we're wrapping up the interview, what
Mhm.
exciting plans do you have in the works in the next 6 to 12 months?
Sure. My main goal in the next 6 to 12 months would be to continue developing my skills as a group psychotherapist.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also preparing for a licensing exam
Mm-hmm.
and to become a fully registered psychologist. So that would definitely be in the pipeline.
Nice, nice. Dr. Kerr, that wraps it up for us today. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your insights and tips with us. It was a real pleasure to have you on the show. And Dr. Kerr, if people want to connect with you, what's the best way?
I think it would definitely be LinkedIn.
LinkedIn?
And
Okay.
yes, and I'm very happy to share my email in case anybody would want to get in touch with me.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time, Gary.
Okay.
Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at truenorthsuccessshow.com/guest. We'd love to hear from you.